Welcome to the first module of the Edge 100-Day Challenge. In this training, you're going to learn the system and the process so you can find your code to the edge in the next 100 days. But before we go into the training, before we get into those modules, I want you to understand the foundation. Why are you here? Why did you lose the edge? And why right now is the best time for you to find your own code? See, people watch my videos all the time and tell me, Raul, you either are a great actor or you've been through a lot of shit. And so you can't make this shit up. I didn't learn this in a video or in a book or in a seminar. I lived this. So the reason I'm able to help you find the code to the edge because I've been able to retrace my steps and how did I lose that edge and how did I find it. See, I'm an immigrant. My parents came to this country when I was 11 years old. I remember living in a one-bedroom apartment with my brother, with my sister, with my parents, and the one thing that got me going every single day was that American dream, thinking that one day I'm gonna be able to do whatever I wanna do. I wanna become an entrepreneur so I could be that American dream. By the time I was 15 years old, I was selling t-shirts in my high school. And I was hustling t-shirts, buying it from New York. I was buying t-shirts from the Bronx, and I was selling to my friends in high school, and I was making money. But then I went to the corporate world. I got a job in the corporate world, and I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And see, that book changed my life because I was sitting in my cubicle, and I remember clearly saying, is this it? Is this gonna be my life? I looked at my boss, and he was sitting in the next cubicle. I looked at the car that he was driving. I looked at his lifestyle, and I said, I don't want that lifestyle. I know there's something better. So I picked up this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that changed my mindset forever. That book taught me how to be an entrepreneur. They said if you invest in real estate, you are gonna have leverage. At the age of 21, I bought my first property. And then by age of 30, I had millions of dollars in assets. Had people working for me, I had multiple companies, a real estate, a mortgage company, an investment firm, and I thought I was gonna retire. I thought I was the man. I made it. But see, when the crash came, I didn't know how to keep the money that I've made. So I kept on investing, I kept on doubling down. Even though the market was crashing, I thought I was invincible. And that's when I almost lost it all. And some people may think that that's when I lost the edge, but that's when I found who I was. See, it's easy for you to make money when the market is hot, but can you make money when you lose everything? That's when you find out who you are. At that moment, when I had no money, when I had millions of dollars in debt, that's when I had to make a decision. Is this gonna be my story, or can I come back stronger than ever? And within 6 months, I was able to rebuild my company again. So why am I sharing this story with you? Because I want you to understand that making money is not having the edge. Making money is a product of having the edge. Because at that moment, I was making more money than before, had a beautiful wife, had a beautiful family, it seemed like everything was going fine, but at that moment, I got depressed. That's when I lost the edge, when everything was going fine. When I had no reason why to be depressed, that's when I found myself in the middle of what I call the tunnel. I remember like it was yesterday. I was drinking every single day because I had this physical pain in my core. Yes, that stress level of the fear of maybe going back to losing everything, or the fear of maybe going back to my old patterns of not knowing what to do, got me to drink. And every single night I was drinking and drinking, sedating that feeling that I had inside. And I don't know where you are right now. I don't know if your body's reacting and giving you feedback. I don't know right now that your biggest fear is losing everything. I don't know if you already lost everything, you're trying to rebuild, but it doesn't matter. Your production is a direct reflection of your certainty. And right now, if you're going through what I call the middle of the tunnel, that is the rite of passage to finding the edge. See, a lot of people think that when men hit a certain level of success, they go through a midlife crisis. I see, and that's the misunderstanding. There is no midlife crisis. There is a rite of passage to becoming a king. So right now, you're going through that. The tunnel is the perfect time. It's the gift and the curse. The gift, because right now in the middle of the tunnel, you will find out the power that you have. Right there is where you're gonna find the edge. But see, the curse is because if you don't have the right tools and the right people around you, you're going to sabotage your success. You're gonna sabotage your marriage. You're gonna sabotage what you've built. And most men burn that shit to the ground. So my intention for you, brothers, understand one thing, that this is a process. What you're going through is a process. You've been called to become a better man. You've been called to lead. The reason that you're here is because there's a voice speaking to you saying that there's a better version of yourself out there, that you must do whatever it takes for you to find that version of yourself. Because most people are comfortable. Most people are sedating their pain. But now you're willing to face the pain. You're willing to pay the price. You're willing to find out in the next 100 days, do I have what it takes to find that edge? And that's what we're gonna see. So shit is gonna get real, brother. I'm gonna trigger you in these videos. I'm gonna fucking curse at you a couple of times. You're gonna think that I'm a thug. You're gonna think that I'm pushing you. Some of you are gonna be triggered because of my language. Understand one thing, I'm using this language because your subconscious mind has to be triggered. We've been conditioned to believe that certain language is taboo. But I mean to tell you that I don't give a fuck what you've been conditioned to believe. I'm gonna do whatever it takes for me to break through, not your conscious mind, but subconsciously. Because right now you're being conditioned to believe that this is as good as it's gonna get. And I mean to tell you that unless you break through those conditions, unless you break through those fucking patterns, it is impossible for you to go to the other side. So I'm committed for your growth. I'm committed to do whatever it fucking takes for me to break through all the illusions of perfections, all the illusions that you have to be in order for you to find your own code. So in the next module, I'm gonna give you the breakdown of why this story matters, of why this story is exactly what you need in order for you to understand that what you're going through is not a curse. What you're going through is not God punishing you. What you're going through is not because you don't have enough or you're not enough. What you're going through is the rite of passage. You're supposed to be here. This is exactly what you need in order for you to become a better man. So one of the mantras that we use here is trust the process. You're not gonna figure this shit out from one day to the next. This is a process. When you feel like it's not making sense, when you feel like you're not making progress, I want you to trust the process that got you here in the first place. So before we go to the training module, before we go to the content, I want you to write down what is the pain that you've been repressing. What is the fear? What is the pain that you've been holding on to? Because in the next training, we're gonna use that pain. I'm gonna help you use that pain so you could turn it into fucking fuel. And my intention for you, brother, is for you to become so fucking strong, have so much certainty that you break through all those fears and you use them as fuel. I'll see you in the next module.